Good evening, everybody. It's Mac, and welcome to a very special live edition of Slayin, That MF, the Gift of Life series. This is episode 10, and I'd like to welcome those of you who come in and share a little of your time with me. Thank you. I know you have other things that you could be doing, so I really want you to understand I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. Okay, so let's get right to it. First of all, for those who don't know what myelofibrosis is, you may see me shaking my head. There's a fly annoying the hell out of me. It's not that I'm going crazy. Those who don't know what this series is all about, myelofibrosis is an insidious blood cancer. It's a rare blood cancer. I was diagnosed last year in March, and prior to that, I had another blood cancer called polycythemia vera. PV eventually transitioned to MF, which is myelofibrosis. And so I went through a series of issues before I could get the necessary bone marrow transplant. That happened back on November 27th of last year. If the transplant failed, uh, and so I ended up getting what they call a stem cell boost, which is really, the transplant without the chemotherapy. And even that didn't really seem to take too well. But a funny thing started to happen about a month ago. The numbers started to hold. So, the numbers were low. My white blood cell count was way low. My red blood cell count was way low. Worse than that, because of the failures, my donor's blood cells were not taking, only mine. And that's not what you want generally when you have a transplant. But the good news is there's no sign of myelofibrosis in my blood. And so I feel good. I'm doing really well. It's been a long journey, and a lot of things have happened since November. Uh, I had to stay in the hospital for a number of different visits for a number of different reasons. I had this bad fall in February. Uh, I broke my nose and tore up both my shoulders, my arms, my hands. I'm still not ready going to therapy for that. Uh, I also had brain bleed. Thankfully, there was no desire by the doctors to operate because that's certainly no fun. And then I had to go in because I started having a knee issue, and they thought that that was related to my blood. Yeah, it was all sorts of different things, and I'm tired just talking about it. But finally, I'm in a place now where the numbers are holding steady. My red blood cell count is where it belongs, almost at 2.77, and I have it right here. 2.77 is just a shade below where I want to be, which is 4.20. So if you look at this sheet here, RBC is red blood cell count. That's the second row down. The first row, WBC, that's white blood cell count. Right now I'm at 4.6, which is within range of the 4.5 to 10.0. I'm sorry, 10.5. Uh, Looking down the third row, HGB, that's hemoglobin, and HCT right below that is hematocrit. They're both low, but they are climbing with each week. I get lab done every week, and with each passing week, the numbers get better and better. And so, and then if you look a little bit lower, right there it is, PLT count, that's platelets. That too is low, but trending in the right direction. So there's reason to feel good about where I'm at. And I found out Monday when my last visit with the doctor. I was told that I'm strong enough now so that I could go ahead and get vaccinated. So that'll be a couple of extra layers of protection for me, especially when I start going visiting uh, in August. So, I know that those of you who may hear this may have your own feelings about getting vaccinated, getting the shots and everything. And, this should not be a political thing. If you want to get vaccinated, you should feel free to. If you don't want to get vaccinated, well, that's your call too. But I know with my situation as it is, I believe the best thing for me to do is to get vaccinated. Talk to your doctor, see what your options are, and make an educated decision based on the information that you receive from your medical physician. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. But that's that's the big news. That's about really all I got. This is not going to be a long program. I usually keep these shows uh, 15 minutes or less, and I don't see why that should change today. But I would like to hear from you all. I'd like to know how you all are doing. If you're someone who's dealing with myelofibrosis, let me know at what stage are you at. Did you have your bone marrow transplant yet? And if so, how are you feeling? Uh, I mean, I'd really love to know how you're doing. All right. Uh, if you had the transplant, uh, had you experienced that funny taste in your mouth? Did you deal with that? Were you able to eat? Were you able to eat the swallow medicine, or did it give you all sorts of problems the way it gave me shortly after my transplant? Uh, and I mean, you're going to experience something. Most people do. It's different for everybody, as we've discussed before. And sometimes I may sound like a broken record, but everyone has to understand the destination is the same. What's the destination? To get healthy again. The journey is different for all of us. Okay? So if you hear me say, I'm feeling great, I've been doing well for the last month, that's me. Now, you might have other symptoms than what I had. I mean, I didn't really, vomit. Uh, I didn't have diarrhea. I didn't have headaches. I got through pretty good there. But some people might experience either one or all of those things and other things, you know. But again, it's different for everybody. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up the rope. You hang in there. You hang in there, you fight, because you're not fighting for just yourself, you're fighting for your loved ones too. And as I like to say, if you get tired, tell your loved ones, let them fight with you and for you. That's very important. I've been so blessed. Uh, I've got such a laundry list of people who have hung in there with me, and many have been with me from the word go. Others found out later, and they're hanging in there with me too. So, uh, I can't stress enough the importance of having the right people surrounding you and telling you the right words, the right thoughts. The mental is very important. Your mental is very important. I can't stress that enough. Uh, if you're telling yourself the right things, if your mental is correct, the body has no choice but to follow. And I'm a strong believer in that. So I want you all to, remember that. I want y'all to, be careful of the people who are around you, and make sure that we all get to the same destination. Maybe not at the same time, but let's all get to the same destination. That, in fact, is we get to good health. All right? So that's really it for me. Uh, Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, this is Max, and be blessed. Remember to do something nice for somebody